You know, there was a time when being a real man in the movies, whatever that means, it looked something like this.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
These days, it looks more like this.
If you want to contact me, I don't have a cell right now because of payment complications.
And that's partly due to Judd Apatow. The characters in his films are regular people doing their best to get by. Judd has had a hand in a lot of the funniest and smartest stuff of the last 20 years, from The Larry Sanders Show, to Freaks and Geeks, to Anchorman.
I'm Ron Burgundy. You stay classy, San Diego.
And by the time he did Knocked Up in 2007, Judd had assembled a modern-day rat pack. Guys like Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Jonah Hill, Chris O'Dowd, Jay Baruchel. His most trusted collaborator may be Leslie Mann. After years of marriage and raising 2 daughters together, they've got something to say about getting to the next stage of their life. And they've turned it into a new film called This Is 40.
You need to get outside more. Do some playing outside.
You don't need technology.
No technology.
Charlotte, put that down.
Please welcome to the show, Judd Apatow. All right, man. Nice to see you. Welcome. How are things?
Things are good. How about you?
Things are well, thank you.
Good to be here. I like this chair.
That's nice, eh?
It's fancy.
Congratulations, it's really funny. I know that's what you have to do, but it really is funny, man.
You like the movie?
Quite a bit, actually.
Oh, good.
It's also seeing relationships from the modern perspective of 40. Because it is different now than when our folks would have been 40, right?
Because they were so old.
That's the thing.
Now that I'm 44,
Yeah.
I realize that they just looked terrible. We eat better.
That's right.
We're still immature.
We're far more sensitive to other people's needs.
That's right. I mean, I can't even imagine when I was young thinking at 44 I'd want to hang out with any of my dad's friends. Right. And so now it's weird because as you get older, you really don't get that much more mature. You're kind of the same.
Well, in fact, your immaturity is stifled so much that you just can't wait for it to break out.
That's right.
There's that moment in the film, but there's in the bullying scene, and when Paul and the character and Leslie's character are so nasty in the principal's office.
Yes.
So you're like, that's them at 12.
Exactly.
Coming out, right?
Well, I think when you're a parent, well, the worst thing about being a parent is that your kids go to school, and after working so hard to get out of school, you have to now track someone else in school and care about if they do well. I mean, I can't believe that I have to, like, do her homework with her. Like, I worked my whole life to not do homework. Just be self-sufficient. That's the lesson. Do it without me. And we're bad at all of it. Like, we can't even do fractions. We can't do anything.
Not at all.
And then, you know, as an adult walking through a school, I feel just as nerdy and as much of an outcast as I did when I was young. So even with parents, I'm like totally awkward and weird, and I just go right back into high school mode.
Now, here's a clip from back in the day, an old stand-up comic.
Oh no!
Watch,
What?
Watch.
I'm sitting home the other day. I see this guy on TV. He has no arms, and he's playing the guitar with his feet. I'm sitting watching this just going, I suck. I've done nothing with my life. I can't even play the guitar with my hands.
We're back.
Back in the day, it was all about shoulder pads. United high shoulder pads, and that's why I quit stand-up. That was as good
shoulder pads.
That was as good as it got.
That's a really good joke. I watched it and went, that's a really funny joke. Why did he walk away from
Exactly.
that? It's a different headspace, isn't it?
It is. Being a performer is a much different thing. And I used to, you know, I came to Toronto with Jim Carrey. I was like one of the producers of his special, Jim Carrey's Unnatural Act, and we shot it here in Toronto in 1991 or 1990.
In Living Color too, didn't you? Like,
I used to write, well, he used to pay me out of his own pocket to write extra sketches for him. So I wasn't a writer there, but he used to come in and go, hey, I wrote 3 new sketches, but really me and him stayed up all night trying to really give him a lot of, you know, bullets for his gun. And he was just so funny that I thought, I'm never going to be as funny as this guy. I mean, which is actually kind of sad in a way to accidentally wind up as the opening act for the funniest man on the face of the earth.
in a hometown gig.
Exactly. And then I lived with Adam Sandler at the time, and he was so funny. that I thought, I don't think I have any charisma. I mean, these guys, I would walk in a room and the room would gravitate to them way before they were famous, just based on how interesting they were. And slowly I just decided maybe I should be a writer.
But isn't and what a writer. But Adam is more kind of an anomaly too, because Adam is one of those comics who likes other comics.
Yes.
Like he's not an ultra competitive guy. He is, but he isn't an hour. Did you see that in him?
It wasn't that he was never competitive with other comics because he always thought he was going to be a giant star. So in his head, like, I'm not in competition. I'm going to make it and do whatever you're going to do. I came at comedy as being an insane comedy fan. Adam was just this really unique individual who didn't come out of it with an obsession and some encyclopedic knowledge of comedy. He was just like a kind of an awesome, strange dude who was really funny.
It takes you a bunch of years to figure out what impact your choices had on you now in your art. If you look at the kinds of characters you write and this idea, I've heard much talk about the kinds of men that you have and your view on relationships and all that. Does that come from a direct place, this view of the world? Because I've heard people say that it's a stunted adulthood, but I actually look at it the other way. I love the kind of guys you write and the relationships you write because I think it's the most honest relationship. Your characters get to be vulnerable.
I felt that way as a kid. I was small, and we would play sports, and I was always picked last. And that was kind of this weird daily humiliation that I couldn't get out of the cycle of. So you'd be in deep right field, and the ball never came to you, and you would think, if a ball came to me and I made like a great catch, maybe next time I could play second base. But it would never happen because no one was a lefty. Right. And so it just kind of builds up your sensitivity to other people's suffering. Then you just feel bad for the other guy who gets picked second to last, and you feel bad for anyone who's having a hard time. And I think that makes you a better writer because you're thinking about other people's emotional lives.
And you get to explore that. You have those conversations with your wife about that?
Yeah, we always talk about just what people are going through. Like I always feel like everyone's just trying to get through the day. Everyone's trying to get by and not hurt anybody and be happy. And just the challenge of doing that to me is enough for a story.
Do you feel protective of your group that you work with?
I felt protective of all those kids from Freaks and Geeks because when we did the show, Seth Rogen is from Vancouver, as it was Lee Shepard who played Harris, and the same for Jay Baruchel, who he came. Is he from Montreal, I think? And so they were kids, when they came down to do Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared. And Seth, he kind of dropped out of high school. We still don't know if he graduated or not. But you knew you were changing his life and that his parents were moving to America with him. And then the show gets canceled really fast. And you think, I think I've ruined Seth Rogen's life because now what happens to him and his family? And I felt that way about everybody, that we gave them jobs that changed the trajectory of their journey. So I always tried to keep an eye on them and work with them because I thought they were all brilliant on the show, and I wanted to work with them, but I also hoped nobody would rob a liquor store.
Right. Well, which could have happened.
It happens all the time. It still can happen.
Stick around. More with Judd, but one of the stars of This Is 40, Leslie Mann in the red chair as well. See you in a sec. All right, up next, turning 40. We'll find out if it hits close to home for Leslie. Plus, from Mr. D, Mark Forward mentors the panel.
Hi, we're talking about what makes a good mentor. I think they should be in the same field as you, because one time I showed up to a cornfield, and he was in a wheat field. So I didn't hear anything he had to say.
Welcome back here on the show. We've got Judd Apatow. Shall we bring out the star of your film?
Yes, please.
The star of your film, and perhaps the star of your life as well?
Exactly.
Leslie Mann, come on up. Welcome.
Thank you.
Have a seat. All right, why don't you sit here?
Oh, okay.
We've had our time with him. Now it's us.
Okay. I know, you really chatted up a storm and you have dirt on your face.
I do? The whole time?
The idea of turning 40 is a big thing in a lot of people's lives, and that is part of this film is aging, a part of the conversation in your home.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about it for years, because, talking about this movie, and I feel like, I feel like women kind of, I don't know how you guys feel. I'm trying to look at the audience and see who might be 40, but it feels like when women turn 40, it's a really like tough thing to go through. And I'm, you know, kind of in the middle of a nervous breakdown right now from it. it's hard, and
we're making money on it.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, I kind of, you know, try to find older women and to ask them when it's going to end, like when I'll start feeling better. But yeah, it's kind of tricky.
You're sharing these stories. Do you feel like you're actually doing the most with your time as people?
We're here.
Yes, well, listen, I believe you being here is doing the most. No, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this idea. We all have, we change, we have these things, especially when you get into this business when you're young, you evolve. Right? Do you feel like you're having those moments, those real moments where you're able to take it all in?
That may be what the movie's about also, is like trying to do too much, trying to like do the most is what stresses me out, because I'm trying so hard to get so much done and get, you know, learn how to play piano, learn how to speak French, learn how to, and you know, the truth is I'll never do it. I'll never do it, but the pressure I put on myself to do those things, like, oh,
go ahead.
I have to.
I've said way worse. Go for it.
I have to learn how to play piano, and when am I going to do that? And like making the list, like of all the things I have to do. I think that what I'm learning now is that I just have to accept that's never going to happen, and making that okay, you know.
That is very Homer Simpson of you, though, right?
You're denying yourself. You're denying the world one of the greatest piano players who ever lived. Now they have all those books now, like 1,000 places to see before you die.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Yeah, let's go time traveling for a second. Let's look at this.
Oh boy, get ready.
Oh my gosh! No, you didn't.
I didn't call on you yet.
Oh my gosh! the name of that movie, I was in high school and I was an extra. And the name of that movie is Virgin High, and it's on all of my, like, whatever, like IMDb. Yeah. And it sounds like a porno. and it's, right? And it's like early on, like early in her career, she started as in a porn. Yeah. I don't know.
Watching your daughter in this one have her moment, that breakthrough moment, I thought, oh, she can probably act if she wants to. In that moment, did you have one of those?
I had my acting teacher, yeah, D.W. Brown. He was really supportive, and he said, you know, you can do anything, and you can, it was kind of the first time anyone ever said that to me, that I could do anything I wanted, and if I wanted to be on a TV show, I could, and if I wanted to make movies, I could, and if I wanted to be in, you know, do theater, I could, and he believed in me.
Those moments are so important.
Oh, you got those moments bang on in this movie. Great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. That was super fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is 40. Leslie Mann, Judd Apatow. We'll be right back. Thank you.